Well, then you're going to love this. We're moving on to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I toyed with picking Malik Monk here because they are so devoid of off the dribble jump shooting. They are just, who is right now? Who's the best off the dribble jump shooter on the Lakers? It's probably LeBron.
It's probably LeBron. Yeah.
After LeBron, though, who is it?
Maybe Dwight Howard?
DeAndre Jordan, maybe?
Marc Gasol for the next 3 days.
Oh man, what is? There. I can't with the Lakers in the front court. But anyway, I don't know how much of an opportunity the guys who are actually. I think the three options here to me are Malik Monk, Taylon Horton-Tucker, and Kendrick Nunn. Who among them is actually going to have the opportunity to play? I'm going to go with Taylon Horton-Tucker just because of the investment they have in him with the new deal that he got. He's not an off the dribble jump shooter. He started hitting jump shots for a little bit last year. It wasn't a huge sample size, and it's not the confidence level. It definitely wasn't three-pointers. If he can hit some set threes, or if those herky-jerky drives of his, and he can hit some just fades, but he's also going to give you. He's a fairly good passer. He'll be able to do stuff closer to the basket, and his defensive malleability is pretty in line with how the Lakers might want to play in certain lineups. I don't ever want to see him on the court at the same time as Russell Westbrook. I will tell you that right now, but. He's just my guy by default. And I do believe in him as a breakout candidate. For him, even if the jumper never comes, it feels like there's a hyper disruptive, super useful defensive player there who can give you some ball handling.
Long.
And in the half court, his body doesn't make sense when you look at it. It just
so ridiculously long.
My question is, I think as it would be for anyone who you pick on this team, what is the role here right now? I do think they are more invested in him than any of the other potential breakout candidates, though. And the other thing, they might need his defense. When you look at all they gave up this offseason, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, gone. Kyle Kuzma turned to a pretty good positional defender, gone. No one has signed Wes Matthews to this point, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. So as of right now, he's not there. You have Melo. No, that's not helping you defensively. Trevor Ariza maybe helps you defensively, but that's really not saying much. Like, he's just super old and kind of needs to defend these bigger, slower wings at the moment. So you might need Taylon Horton-Tucker in addition to Davis and the way that LeBron has been defending to kind of prop up this top-tier defense, which I would argue maybe the Lakers won't be anymore. It's possible just because Anthony Davis is a freak. And I think he is still underrated defensively. That's a different podcast, though. But you might just need Taylon Horton-Tucker defensively a lot more than you did last season.
The only thing I would really add is, of those three, again, the only realistic candidates, who has the most room for growth? Like, I think that's the only thing that was not explicitly mentioned, because we know what Kendrick Nunn is at this point. He's not going to blossom into something he's not. And I think the same is true about Malik Monk, probably a little bit to a lesser extent, but he basically topped out on what we're going to expect with the Charlotte Hornets last year. And he's certainly not going to get the opportunities to continue showing growth on the offensive end because there just aren't enough shots to go around. So just by virtue of realistic growth opportunities, I think it has to be Taylon Horton-Tucker. And then you couple that with the investments made in these players. I mean, Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk coming aboard on I believe 1-year deals for both of them. Taylon Horton-Tucker was a big re-sign candidate. And that alone says a lot.
Yeah, and if you had to pick between the other two, Nunn and Monk,
I think I would go with Nunn, because I do feel like the Lakers are quickly going to realize how unplayable Rajon Rondo is. So there will be an opportunity to be the primary backup point guard.
And he's going to give you more of that than Malik Monk can. I think Monk, if you want, I guess even Kendrick Nunn off the dribble shooting might even be better. I don't know. If you got to go, if you're looking at strictly off the dribble self creation, it's probably Nunn still. I think he probably has more. I'd probably trust Monk more as an off the dribble jump shooter, but I think Kendrick Nunn is more likely to score at all three levels, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does for sure. With that, I think we can already move on to the Memphis Grizzlies.